So HubSpot have recently updated their tool, some of the enterprise level features. You've probably seen a lot of the noise around that, and we're going to go through a few of those changes today, what they mean for people already using HubSpot, but especially for people that are looking to maybe move to HubSpot who are currently in the enterprise space. It really has opened up the door for that, for it to be much more accessible for companies of that size. So yeah, I wanted to kick it off and go through some of the new features. Ricky, do you want to
Yeah,
start?
sure. Exciting times. So the first one of the new features is multi-touch revenue attribution. So in the enterprise version of HubSpot, you've always had revenue attribution models available. I think it was limited to 4 or 5 options. What HubSpot's brought out is a new multi-touch variant of that. So instead of doing purely first or last click attribution or some of the other wave models and such like, you can do it where it gives equal attribution through the middle of the journey. This is really key for things like content marketing stuff that don't necessarily convert people, or maybe social media marketing where they sit somewhere in the middle of the journey. These sorts of channels can now get revenue attributed to them. So when people are analysing where to put their budget, there's some credit given to those channels, which I think is really important.
Yeah, it's totally building on, I think last year with separate, but with the e-commerce bridge and all the Shopify integrations, slowly bringing in more thoughts around revenue reporting into HubSpot. It's great for it to finally be in fully fledged.
No, for
It's
sure.
great for us.
Exciting.
I'll take the next one. So partitioning was introduced last year in a guise for landing pages and a few other sort of marketing related pieces, but it didn't go down to the granular level that a lot of companies needed. That's now been rolled out to a full partitioning model through contacts, deals, teams, absolutely everything, which is huge. One of the big traditional things you see in those enterprise level systems. So we've been using it in its earlier guise, and it's great for us to now be able to roll that out across others, and that's really powerful for multinational companies with distributed teams who are controlling their own budgets, controlling their own goals, and on top of the sort of brand domains which HubSpot introduced last year as well, being able to actually have partitioning within that, really powerful and great for us as an agency to report on those individual elements.
No, it's always been a bit of a barrier, that one, for people considering HubSpot, so I'm really pleased to see they brought that in. The next one is adaptive A/B testing. So in HubSpot, you've been able to do A/B testing for some times, variant A versus variant B. HubSpot's new feature is it allows you to do up to 5 tests simultaneously, and using AI, it will pick winners as they go through and start sending more traffic towards the winning variants. So if you're looking to do real A/B testing across several different pages, rather than having to analyse the data, pick your own winner, this can take a lot of the manual work, let AI do that, but also allows you to do multiple tests at once, so big time saver there.
Great. Yeah, that's probably my favourite
Yeah.
of all as a marketer. You know,
The
being able to
marketing and
run
data geek, that's the one you
tons of
want.
tests. It's going to be adaptive and do it for me live. I'm not going to have to wait a month and come back and then make a change. And there's that gap of opportunity whilst that data's been coming in.
Yeah,
It's nice to know that it's doing the thinking for us.
sure.
One less thing for us to do.
No, definitely.
Cool. So next big one is ABM, so account-based marketing tools within HubSpot. As inbound's evolved, like everything from paid has come into the inbound methodology, and there's inbound ways of approaching things. ABM probably being in the outbound camp traditionally, or for salespeople that do outbound, using ABM as a methodology and being super targeted with some direct mails or whatever it is. That's now coming into the tool, using that enriched HubSpot data to create those ABM campaigns. And again, just another really strong tool that goes beyond the traditional inbound blogging, email, attraction method, and it's a bit more directed in really helping out those sales teams and the sales side of HubSpot, which is growing and growing, getting bigger than the marketing side day by day. So yeah, great to see that.
Yeah, another tool, you don't have to buy something else to switch in, to plug into HubSpot. You can just do it straight in.
Yeah.
HubSpot itself is another marketing channel. My favourite one next, probably one of the least exciting ones, but it is a huge time and mind space saver, is the multi-preference center. So if you think at enterprise level, the complexities you've got of different business units and divisions and sub-brands and all this sort of stuff, if you want to control them on an individual basis in terms of what people are opted in or opted out to from an email perspective, previously on HubSpot that had been quite complicated. We've got clients that have well over 100 versions of what they'd like to control in terms of preference. Previously, we'd had to create custom fields and lists and automation and essentially tweak and bespoke the system to make it work a way we want it to work. But by doing that, you bring in opportunities for human error and processing errors. So this can really take away all of that. You can create multiple preference centers for all your different business divisions in one place, and it will work as a robust part of the tool. So, like I say, not an exciting marketing feature, but in terms of a time saver, it's huge.
Yeah, I think anyone watching this or who maybe is a marketing manager who's got to sell HubSpot or any tool into a director or somebody at the C-suite who's looking at their data and where we've really struggled to sell that idea of there is one preference center where somebody can just jump straight out. Yeah. It's another good string to your bow. If you're trying to bring in HubSpot, you've maybe used it in a previous role, you now have that multi-preference center, so it's one less thing to have to sort of do the complicated workaround or the messing around. So last one in terms of new bits and a kind of like a housekeeping one, but a lot of the limits in HubSpot have been raised to that enterprise level. So lists, workflows, things like that were pretty high by the common person's life standards, but when you get to that enterprise level into the multiple thousands of workflows and stuff, when you are running huge in-depth campaigns with lots of automation, they've been bumped up. So again, another one, if you've got a requirement, maybe the IT team saying we need this many lists for our API and it's not going to work, well, now you can say that's no longer the case, and we can facilitate that in HubSpot now, so they've increased that bandwidth for enterprise customers.
Yeah, and I guess that kind of wraps up why HubSpot have done this. So things like limits, partitioning, preference centers, these have all been reasons why companies would perhaps choose other softwares like Marketo in the past that are seen as enterprise level marketing systems which can handle complexity. So a lot of the features HubSpot's been rolling out over the last year or so, and particularly in this update, are all aimed at removing those barriers to buying HubSpot. There's no reason not to buy HubSpot anymore. Like you say, limits, preference centers, partitioning, that's all sorted now. So you can remove all the barriers to having HubSpot, but you can also get all of the benefits you would have of HubSpot over Marketo. Things like ease of use, adoption, having your platform all in one for sales, marketing, service, your website, having a tool that manages the full inbound journey in one place. That's been a real big players. Let's get rid of all the reasons why you wouldn't choose HubSpot. Let's make it truly enterprise grade, but plus you get a modern software as part of it. So why wouldn't you choose it?
Absolutely. So obviously Marketo is in the market and HubSpot are going directly for that. We are a HubSpot agency. We've run through some of the tools that were sort of the final pieces to the puzzle, or as HubSpot would see it, and we agree. And we've got a blog on HubSpot versus Marketo that goes a little bit more in depth into the tool as a whole, from a pricing to the different modules in Marketo versus HubSpot and how that all works. So we'll add a link to that in this video and have a read of that too, if you are wondering either swapping or picking one. And if you do have any other questions, reach out to us and we can run through, give a demo and talk you through this in a lot more detail as well.
Brilliant.
So, thank you. Bye.